Hello class. I'm going to show you today more with integers. Today is going to be a negative number minus a negative number. And whereas the previous video that you saw where I had a positive minus a negative I said was really easy, this is probably the most difficult one out of all the integers to work with. So on this one, I'm going to show you how to do the problems without a calculator. But if you get stuck and frustrated, I don't mind you using a calculator to kind of help you through, because that'll help you to get through the process, and then I think you'll start to understand it a little better. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how to do these first 6 problems, because they kind of give you the type of answers that you'll get when you do these sort of problems. Sometimes you're going to get negative answers, sometimes you're going to get positive answers, and sometimes you're going to get 0 as an answer. So that's what we're going to look at here. We're going to look at these 6 problems and see how we either get negative answers, positive answers, or zeros. So I'm going to use my pen here. Start with my red pen. So just like I showed you in the previous video, though, a negative minus a negative does become a positive. So this would be like negative 18 minus a negative 4. That would become like negative 18 plus 4. Okay, so a couple different ways we can think of this. If I borrowed $18 from somebody, I owe them $18. That's a negative 18. If I paid them back $4, how much would I owe them? So think of that for a minute. I would owe them $14. So that would be negative 14 for me. Or I could say it this way. What's larger, my negative number or my positive number? My negative number is larger because it's an 18. So I know my answer is going to be negative. So then I'll do 18 minus 4, which gives me 14. So that's 2 ways you can think of it. Think of it as a money problem. If I borrowed $18 from somebody, that's a negative 18. And then if I paid them back $4, that would be plus 4. So negative 14. Moving on, negative 15 minus negative 9. Again, a negative minus a negative makes a positive. So negative 15 plus 9. Again, think of it as money. If I borrowed $15 from somebody, that's a negative 15. If I paid them back $9, well, I would only owe them how much? I borrowed 15 from somebody, paid them back 9. How much would I owe them? 6. So it would be negative $6 that I would be in the hole, $6. Or I can say what's larger, my positive or my negative number. My negative number is larger, so my answer is going to be negative. What's 15 minus 9? 6. So my answer would be negative 6. And then moving on, negative 9 minus negative 5. Again, minus a minus or minus a negative becomes a plus. So negative 9 plus 5. If I borrow $9 from somebody, that's negative 9. If I pay them back $5, I borrowed 9, I paid back 5. Now I only owe them 4. So it would be negative $4 that I owed them. Okay, or I could think of it again. What's larger, my negative or my positive? My negative is larger, so my answer is going to be negative. What's 9 minus 5? 4. So negative 4. So far we've seen when answers are negative. But we also said that sometimes we would have answers that are positive, and that's what we're going to see right here. So I have negative 5 minus 14. Negative 5. So minus a negative becomes a plus. So this would be like negative 5 plus 14. Okay, so again, if you want to think of it as money, if I borrowed $5 from somebody, that would be negative 5 for me. If I then got $14 and paid them back the 5, I would have $9 in my pocket, positive 9. Or I can think of it as what's larger, my positive number or my negative number? My positive number is larger. So what's 14 minus 5? 14 minus 5 is 9. So that's the example I would get a positive number. Well, we also said we would find sometimes we would get 0 as an answer. So let's see what happens here. And if we notice, our numbers look the same. I have an 8, I have an 8. I have a negative 8 minus negative 8. But again, a negative of a negative makes a positive. So negative 8 plus 8. So if I borrow $8 from somebody, I pay them back $8. I don't owe them anything. So I owe them $0. Or I can say to myself, what's larger, my negative or my positive? Well, they're exactly the same. So they cancel each other out. They're a 0. So it's like a negative, and it's additive inverse. 8 would give me a 0. And then last one, looking at this, do you think the answer is going to be positive or negative? Well, let's see as we go through. Think what you think, and then let's go through it. So negative 10 minus negative 9. So a minus a negative makes us positive. So negative 10 plus 9. And again, if I borrow $10 from somebody, that's negative 10 for me because I have to pay them back. If I pay them back $9, I only owe them $1. So that would be negative 1 for me. Or I can look at it this way. What's larger, my negative or my positive? My negative is larger. So negative 10. So what's 10 minus 9? 1. So my answer would be negative 1. So don't forget to put your answers on your answer sheet. So your responsibility is to do this worksheet for your classwork and this worksheet for your homework. But you do have answer sheets in Google Classroom that you can go for, and they're on Google Docs. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know.